welcome to another adventure here on my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. First of all, I am filming this on my phone, so the quality is not up to my usual standards. I'm sorry about that. This is the only way I could film this video, and more importantly, I have my amazing guest, best friend, Arushi here, because we actually met because of this channel. She was a subscriber first and would comment fairly regularly, and then we got talking in Instagram DMs, and now I have flown halfway across the country to see her because, like, I know there was a time when I didn't know her, but like, I can't remember when. I feel like she's just always been there. She is such a major part of my life. One of my best friends who I am keeping forever. Like, you're stuck with me now.
I'm okay with that.
And so I thought it would be fun to have a conversation about what it is like being a YouTuber who becomes best friends with a subscriber and a subscriber who becomes best friends with a YouTuber. And I thought it would be interesting to film. So this will be, I don't know, a little bit more podcasty, a little more informal than my usual videos, a little less research, just because this is our personal experience with this. So we'll be sort of interviewing each other, sort of just having a conversation, seeing where it leads us. And with that, let's go ahead and jump right on in. I guess I should start by asking, how long were you a subscriber to my channel and viewer of my channel before we actually met and started talking?
I remember watching your, I can't remember if it was your Tati duplicate study. Is that what it was?
The replication study.
Replication
videos?
study, yeah, that's the one. So I can't remember if I watched that one first or if I watched the Lucia Tepper one first. But it was one of the two.
So that's a while back on my channel.
I'd have no recollection of, like, because usually I mark things by what year of undergrad I was in, and I don't remember when that was.
But that was a while back, like, to the point where I think the majority of my subscribers won't even really know what you're talking about the Lucia Tepper thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Which, good. It is in the past. We don't need to bring it back up. But so you were a subscriber really early on.
Yeah, so I subscribed right after I watched whichever one of those videos. And I watched your videos for a little while, and then I just kind of stopped watching YouTube as much. So your channel also kind of fell by the wayside in my viewership. So I was like going through my subscriptions and like cleaning them out, and then I saw your channel and I was like, oh, let me give this another shot. And I really liked it. I'm not usually one to like participate in the comments, especially if a video has like thousands of views. What is my comment gonna contribute, right? Mm-hmm. But this was back when you had like 400 or 500 subscribers, maybe less.
Yeah. It took me a long time to get over that 1,000 subscriber threshold even.
Yeah. So it was back then, and there were like 3 or 4 comments on your videos at a time. So it was like, she seems really cool, so I'm gonna start commenting, you know? Like, obviously it wasn't that explicitly conscious of a decision, but it was like, that was kind of the general thing that was going through my head of like, she seems like really sweet, and like you were replying to other people. So like I felt like I could have a conversation with you, because at this point your community was still really small, right?
Which I appreciate it, and it really does help small YouTubers. And even now I still feel like my community is still pretty small, and I still try to answer most comments, at least when a video is new. That's kind of my cutoff, I have learned, because once a video has been out in the ether for a while, I feel like that's when people who specifically hate it start to find it. So I've started like trying to just reply to every comment before I post the next video. And then once in a while, I'll go back and try to answer like the nice comments. Even though I'm a lot bigger than I was, considering I'm close to 10,000, I think.
Yeah.
I still feel like the community is very small.
Yeah, I mean, in like the YouTuber scheme of things, under 10K is still considered like small YouTube, and that's kind of the space that I like thrive in. Obviously I'm not a YouTuber, but like as a viewer I much prefer people below like 20K, except for like Angie.
Why is that, do you think?
I don't know, I think it's a kinder community for one, and two, I think that people put on like less of a show when there are fewer people. Big YouTubers are like not necessarily scripted, but I feel like they have like a character that they present as.
Which that brings me to another good question is, now that you have met me in person, how does my in-person self compare to my on-camera self? Like, if any of the people watching this video were to meet me in real life, how do you think that would play out?
First, I would have to start with like, from going from YouTuber to friend, and then going from friend to meeting in person, right? Like, those are 2 separate steps, and I can't like jump straight from YouTuber to meeting without including friend.
Makes sense.
So, like, between YouTuber and friend, I feel like you were pretty much the same person as you were on screen via text. Oh, gosh, I can't quite think of the right phrase, but it was, like, obviously, like, less, polished, because, you know, you're not editing yourself, right? Like, you didn't feel any more real or less real than you otherwise would have, just, like, less polished in a way that, like, friends can be, right?
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Well, that's good. Because,
Yeah.
like, I do kind of stutter once in a while. I do kind of trip up. I do start to say the wrong thing and then switch it, which is why I edit my videos. So I do think, just like that, I do think it makes sense that I would come across less polished. But as far as a person, I like to think I'm pretty genuine on camera.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you're the same person as you are on camera as you are both as, like, a, you know, via text friend and in person. In person, you're, like, the same person that you are on your channel and also the same person that you are via text. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like, because I do feel like being on camera and being a YouTuber and making videos is a skill. And it's very much something that you can learn and practice and get better at, because I watch my old videos and it's not just like the editing, the lighting that has improved. I feel like I'm more engaging because I feel like I've learned to turn it up, like turn my personality and make it a little bit louder, a little more energetic, so I'm more engaging on camera. I think I talk with my hands more, kind of like I'm doing right now, which I didn't do on purpose. Just, I guess, when I try to turn my entertainment value up, I start talking with my hands. But I do think it can lead down an interesting path when you start to realize that on camera it is a skill and you are, like you said, sort of playing not necessarily a character, just an amped up, more performative version of yourself.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
That can turn into, as you grow, like more and more of a character, more distant from yourself, because you're like, oh my gosh, so many more people are watching.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if this was like a different situation, like you brought up Angie, because we both love Angie,
Yeah.
I feel like she's also very genuine, but I feel like it would make sense for her to be even more different off camera, still herself, just like I said, less polished, less entertainment value.
Because at the end of the day, like, on YouTube, you're a performer, right? But with me, you're my friend, right? So you can kind of tone that down and, like, not have to be on all the time, right?
I do feel like part of it, though, is I am a natural performer in that I love performing. I love entertaining. I've done acting. Like, that's why I loved it, because I always love putting on a show, I guess. Like, that's who I am as a person. So I think that makes YouTube very, like, it's still a skill and still something I have to work at and improve and all of that. But it feels very natural to me to do that amped up performative self, because my natural self is still performative.
No, that makes sense. Like, that's just how you are in person as well. Your presence kind of fills up a room, like.
Heck yeah. Okay, this video is just like, hey, Joe fishing for compliments.
No, but I'm being honest. Like, even my grandma said, like she's really she's sweet, but she's like not but in like a bad way. Like, she's sweet, but she's like very entertaining, and like, because I'm a very reserved person generally, so like you're like very lively, kind of like my brother. Like, you kind of get along with everybody.
That's really interesting of you to say, because especially like in high school, I elicited very strong reactions that definitely were not always positive. It felt like people who got to know me overall tended to like me. Like, right. Not to be like, oh, everyone just liked me so much. No, but like it felt like when I got to time to connect with someone, then they did tend to like me. But there was definitely a lot of people in my high school who didn't like me, who thought I was a bitch. I've had several people tell me, I thought you were a bitch and then I got to know you. So the fact that you say that I tend to get along with everyone.
Interesting.
That's just, I don't know if I would say it's wrong, just like, wow, I've grown as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if YouTube in a way has helped me do that, because I've been able to see myself and see the things I like as well as the things I dislike. Because I've talked about my mental health on this channel before, and I do feel like I do deal with self-hatred. So watching myself all the time, can be kind of dangerous for me,
Mm-hmm.
but it can also be beneficial because I'm like, oh, I like that about myself. I like that I'm an entertainer. I like that I'm a performer. I'm not as annoying when I come and speak to you as I think I am.
I'm glad that, like, because like you said, like, it could be really dangerous to like constantly see yourself. And like when you're editing, right? It's almost a form of critique, right? Because you're editing out the parts that you think you did wrong, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that you can actually look at like your work and be like, oh, I like that about myself is like really impressive and really healthy.
Thank you.
Go off. Like, that's really cool.
I hope you're able to do that with this video because you also have told me that self-image and self-hatred is something you deal with.
Yeah.
And to me, I obviously think you're just wonderful, and I love talking to you, and I love hanging out with you. And I hope that if you are in the future watching this video, that it can help you and you won't be like critiquing yourself, and hopefully seeing you through my eyes, because you would love you so much if you saw yourself through my eyes.
That's really sweet. Thank you.
Well, yeah, you're amazing. I'm so glad to know you. And it's been interesting because you are not the only subscriber I chat with on the Instagram, but you're definitely the one I've become closest with. Like some of y'all follow my personal Instagram account, and I'm totally cool with that, and we chat and talk regularly, and I love it. But not like a bad but like you said, but also I feel like something about talking with you just clicked, because how we got to talking was I said something on my channel about pressing my own eyeshadows, and she does that a lot because she's creative and talented and crafty and wonderful. I will never stop. Look, I will be your confidence until you have some. Until your confidence matches how fantastic you are.
Aw, so, okay.
Thank you. So she's super crafty, and she offered to give me some tips, and I was like, hell yes. And then after we talked about it and we kind of had that conversation, I remember sitting there for a minute being like, I could just stop replying. Like, this could be the moment. The conversation's kind of done. This is natural. It wouldn't be rude to stop replying. But at that point in my life, because I had just returned home from Canada, I studied abroad for a year in Vancouver and then came home, and I wasn't really planning to do that. And I was just so lonely. I felt like I just had no one, and I just was like, she seems nice, and there seems to be like something here. Like, I want to know this person more. And usually I would feel like, oh no, I don't want to bug her. I don't want to take up her time, when she didn't offer more than just like, hey, some advice. But I was like so lonely. I was desperate enough to try.
I'm really glad you were, because I remember, because I was kind of not in exactly the same situation, but like I'd been at my undergrad for 2 years already, and I really had not made any real friends. Like, I had kind of an acquaintance, but it was still like I was lonely too, you know. And I remember getting that text from you, or like that Instagram DM from you that was, it was something along the lines of, hey, I hope your day is going really well, or something like that. And like my face lit up. Like, I was so happy to get that text. I was like, oh, somebody's thinking of me, yay! So like the fact that you actually took that play, because I was in the same headspace. I was like, oh, she seems really cool, but like, would I be able to, you know, like, I don't want to bother her. That was like the extent of the conversation. And like, obviously I was like still planning on like continuing to comment and stuff, but you can only say so much on a YouTube comment versus like a private DM, right? So I was kind of debating like, oh, do I or don't I? So like the fact that you actually like took that plunge was like very beneficial for both of us, and I'm really glad that you did.
Yeah, I mean, I'm exceedingly happy that I did one of my best life decisions up to this point.
I agree.
I guess that leads to, because when you talk to a YouTuber, even a small YouTuber who, you know, you've seen the platform grow, there is a lot of issues with power imbalance. Because like, I know when I speak to YouTubers I'm a fan of, even though I'm a YouTuber, I still kind of feel like starstruck, like, oh my gosh, they're talking to me. And there are YouTubers that I wouldn't say I'm friends with any other YouTubers, but there are YouTubers I kind of DM occasionally with casually. Like, I can reach out and send them a DM and be like, I can't really say like, hey, what's up? But if I have a specific thing, I can be like, hey, here's my comment. And they'll be like, oh, hey, and reply back in a friendly way. That's the best way I know how to describe that relationship. And I still get starstruck even with people I have done that with for a while. So, like, was it just like, oh, someone's thinking about me, but was it like this YouTuber I like? Like, was the non-fame that was my few thousand subscribers, or just the fact that you were a fan of my work? Because that's what I think of as my YouTube, is my, like, creative outlet work more than, like, fan of me.
I'm trying to think. You were still pretty small. I think you had, like, 500 subscribers, like I said. And also, that was probably, like, my 10th or 15th comment that I'd left on a video. And, like, you'd replied to them, and, like, we would have, like, small conversations within the YouTube comments. So, like, I remember the first time you replied to a comment, I remember being like, oh my god, she responded, that's so cool. By the 5th or 6th time, it was starting to feel like more of, not like a friendship, but at least, like, you know, we were acquaintances at that point.
Yeah. See, I really do recognize the names and pictures on my YouTube comment section, because I am still lucky enough to have a small, intimate community to do that. And YouTube has this really cool feature that I don't think subscribers know about, but in the back end of YouTube, where I can check comments, because I can check them like on the video page or in the back end of YouTube. If I go on the back end of YouTube and I'm checking comments, some people have this little flag next to their name that says they are one of your most hearted, like they leave the comments that you have hearted the most. Because sometimes people have similar, or it'll just kind of get crossed in my brain because it's different, like the face versus the profile picture and name. If I see that thing, I'm like, oh, I know this is one of my people. So you definitely have that little heart, and you did back then. Cool. So I kind of always recognized you, and I always recognized, because your icon was distinct enough that I always recognized you.
Yeah.
But even when you get a response on a comment on YouTube, I feel like it in a way is less personal than a DM, because you know the YouTuber is like checking their comments and is responding to a bunch of people, and it still feels nice. Like, I still love when I get, I don't know, Abby Williamson sometimes responds to my comments, and I still feel like, but it's even more of that feeling when it's like a private message. They went out of their way to talk to you specifically.
Yeah. But I think just because, like I said, I've been commenting for a while and you've been replying for a while, it was more of like a slow descent into like the DMs. So like of course I was like excited to see you like DM me after we had like the conversation about pressing pigments, but it wasn't like a starstruck excitement. It was like, ooh, I'm making a friend kind of excitement.
Good. I'm glad it was like that.
And I think part of that is because you're like really genuine, both like via text and on your channel. What you see is what you get for the most part.
I'm glad.
Like, I feel like I wasn't getting anything, this is gonna sound weird, like I wasn't getting anything like super special by you responding, just because, like I said, because it's like a slow descent, right, into talking. You DMing me back, it felt like a natural step in that direction, if that makes sense.
That makes sense, but it's a little interesting. I was gonna say weird, but no, it's interesting how like with parasocial relationships, with you it felt kind of like the next step, but for me it did feel a little weird. And like I said, I wasn't sure whether it'd be okay for me to DM you again, because you know you'd been watching me, and you saw, like you say, that I tried to be genuine on camera, so you felt like, you know, what you saw was what you got. Yeah. So you were already kind of used to me in a way I wasn't used to you. So I feel like that's an interesting aspect of how we became friends, and one of the tidbits to chew on, I guess, is because for you it probably felt more natural than it did for me. Because like for me it felt like, yeah, she comments on my videos, but you know, I always assume everyone else is like more social.
Not me.
Yeah, no, I have like my few really close.
I'm the same way.
But it's like, for me it felt like I could potentially be very much overstepping, whereas for you it felt more natural because you've been seeing me. You knew me.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, I felt like I already kind of knew you because I'd been watching your videos for a while. Which makes me kind of wonder, like, what was it like for you to, like, actually finally meet me? Because for me, the steps were, like, YouTuber, friend, meeting in person. For you, it was just kind of, I guess, subscriber, friend, meeting in person. So, like, you have less of an idea of what I'm like live. I sent you a couple videos of, like, like you sent me something and I unboxed it. I guess your perception of who I am is largely based in text versus my perception of you is both in text and in video, right? Mm-hmm. Are my mannerisms and like the way I talk and stuff like that, like was that what you were expecting?
So you were not my first internet friend.
Right.
Because even in high school, I had internet friends that I would get to know over text and video, and mostly text. So I feel like I have practice and am a little more attuned to picking up mannerisms from little video and text than people who are not used to getting to know someone over the internet. Because for me, you very much are who I expected you to be. Your mannerisms are very similar to your text mannerisms. Mm-hmm. And I find that interesting that a lot of people in text are actually very similar to who they are in person, in speech, but it's only in informal writing, not formal writing. I am a linguistics nerd. This is a whole side tangent, but it is really interesting that people do have their little speech patterns that they put into text, and you can, once you know someone, start to really pick up on them.
Yeah.
I believe I saw a YouTube video on this, and if I can find it again, I'll link it down in the description. So I feel like because I'm used to getting to know people like that, I didn't find it super weird. Okay. Though I did love how the first time I actually saw your face was this picture of like a face mask that looked like blood.
It's the ordinary 30% AHA, BHA1.
Yeah,
it looks like blood.
Yeah, and you were like sticking out your I think it was like, or something like that.
I was doing some like heavy metal punk rock something.
And it was fantastic, and I was like, this is the best way I possibly could have seen her face for the first time. For me, I'm like, how can I ask, like, hey, I know we've been talking for a while and we're kind of friends, but like, I have no idea what the fuck you look like.
I remember, I think I captioned it with something like, bathing in the blood of my enemies to stay young, or something like that.
Yes, and I loved it. It was amazing. And obviously, my brain first went, Rekha Sharma as Kali in Supernatural. So like that was kind of my first impression, which, like, I hope it's not racist.
I don't know, honestly. I mean, I don't think I look anything like her, but
it wasn't so much look as just like badass vibe of Kali in Supernatural, because she was like
That's a
bathing in the blood of her enemies. Like, I was like, yeah,
she is the goddess of destruction.
And so that was my like reference point. I was like, I love it. I love her so much already. We were already friends by the time I saw your face, but I was like, I love her so much already.
I remember being in my bathroom and taking that selfie, and I sent it to my like best friend at the time, you know, and we're still really close, Helen.
Yeah, your real life best friend.
Yeah, exactly. I've known her since high school. I've known her for 8 years, and I sent that to her, and I was like, should I send this to Joe? And then I was like, I'm gonna do it. And then I realized, like, that was the first time you saw my face, and I was like, oh shit. I don't know if that's a good first impression, but we're rolling with it.
I mean, I feel like it's not a real first impression, because we already kind of knew each other.
That's
and the
true.
fact that you already felt comfortable enough to send me, like, the funny, geeky pictures. When I'm your friend, like, it's because I'm very selective with friends, of the people I get close to.
I'm the same way. Yeah.
So I'm like ride or die. I know I constantly compliment people, but I'm like, it's because I love you, damn it. And I want you to feel the love I feel for you.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I feel like I'm more subtle about it. Like, I guess my love language is like giving gifts. Live so far away that I can't just like show up at your door with brownies and be like, hey, you're cool.
I mean, you could. But no, like, she was so sweet. She bought me the Soph X Revolution third collection. You got me that, and that's so amazing. And I kind of feel iffy receiving gifts from subscribers, because like we've talked about in this video, it's like you feel like you know me, but I don't really know you, even if we chat regularly in the comments, and I'm happy to. But it's like, if an acquaintance came and gave you a really nice gift, you'd be a little overwhelmed and not sure how to respond, because gifts have this reciprocal nature.
Yeah.
But like with you, it doesn't feel like, oh, subscriber giving gift. It feels like friend giving gift.
I mean, at this point, we've been talking for, I think it'll be 2 years in like September.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, because I was still in undergrad at that point. It was my last semester in undergrad.
Time is
and
wild.
then so like between last semester of undergrad, first year of dental school, and then I'm starting my second year of dental school. So it's gonna be my first half. So that's 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been really intimate in that you've cleaned my teeth.
Yeah.
So I got to be a guinea pig, and she did a wonderful job.
She was a really good patient. You were such a good, like, if I have patients who are that calm and collected when I'm cleaning their teeth for the first time, this is gonna be a breeze. So here's hoping all my patients are as good as you.
I mean, I believe.
I hope so.
But there are a couple other subscribers who have sent me gifts, and it hasn't felt weird because I do feel more like we don't talk as much as you and I do, but we do talk regularly, and I feel like it's more similar to a friendship than an acquaintanceship. But it definitely feels like it takes me a long time to reach that place with people who watch my YouTube channel, and it's gotten harder for me as I've grown to get to that place with people, just because I love responding to your guys' messages on Instagram DM. I try to respond to all the ones I get, unless I don't see them for so long that I feel like it would just be weird if I responded then, so I just delete them. And I am so sorry, I am just so socially awkward, I don't know what to do. So if you sent me a message and didn't get a response, 10 out of 10, that's why. I'm sorry. There are other people that I do feel closer to friendship with than acquaintanceship with, and even straight up just friendship with, but it's not as ride or die.
Yeah.
This person's gonna be stuck with me for life.
Right.
Type
You
of
shared
thing.
your deep dark secrets.
Yes. No. She got to unlock my tragic backstory earlier today, which I thought she already knew, so I just mentioned it, and she was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh, here's the story." It's interesting getting to know people through YouTube as a YouTuber, because I do feel like when I say I love my subscribers, I do. I don't feel like I'm trying to nurture a parasocial relationship so you guys will support me. I genuinely feel closeness and a connection with my subscribers, but the difference for me is it's kind of a theoretical mass of people that I feel close to and feel like I want to share with and feel the sense of affection and friendship and love towards, that doesn't really have a face. It's not like one person I can just go to or a couple people I can go to in a real friend group. Whereas I feel with the YouTubers I watch and my subscribers' relationship, parasocial relationship to me, it very much feels much more personal and one-on-one from that side of it, which makes sense. I don't think that's necessarily bad. That's just the nature of the platform.
Yeah.
Because obviously you're watching me
Yeah.
talk. I run this show. I have guests, wonderful guests sometimes, but if you're seeing content on this channel, it's my work and my art. And I do feel like art is very personal, whether that medium is YouTube or painting or music or makeup or anything. So parasocial relationships are interesting in that I genuinely feel like I have a parasocial relationship with my subscribers. Just it's that plurality to it that one-on-one doesn't have. And now when you comment on my videos, it feels emotionally very different. It hits different because it's oh, friend, because you have transferred from internet friend to real friend even before we met in person. Yeah.
I think that's kind of one of the reasons I stopped commenting as frequently on your videos, because I'm I can just talk to you one-on-one, right?
Yeah.
I don't have to be part of this collective to get to you.
Yeah. I still do appreciate it for the engagement. It's
I'll
okay.
keep that in mind. I do try to comment, but I feel I know, especially at the beginning, because I thought you were pretty cool and your videos were interesting, and they're still interesting, don't get me wrong. But
hopefully, especially this one, you're in it.
I think also especially because your channel was mostly makeup at the time, and now you've kind of shifted. So back then I kind of I had my 2 cents, but now I kind of feel I don't always have those 2 cents, and I'm not trying to force it. Back then I was I wanted to be part of what community you had, even if it was a lot smaller. So I would kind of sit there and think about, what should I comment? And now I'm if I don't have my 2 cents today for this video because I either don't know anything about it or just nothing's coming to mind, then I'm not gonna do that.
Which is fair.
I'm not gonna force it. Because at this point I already have you. I'm not trying to impress you anymore. You're mine forever. So
Woo! You have a growth.
Yeah, so, no, that's exactly it. I feel like if I do have something to say, I can either say it directly to you, or I can comment. But if I don't have anything to say, that's okay, because I can engage with you about anything under the sun now. So I don't have that need to comment, if that makes sense.
It does, but I also will sometimes go to you and be like, did you like the video though? Like, what's your opinion? Did you enjoy it? Do you still like my art?
Yes. The answer is yes every time.
Aww.
I
crave validation.
I've largely stopped watching YouTube, and at this point my recommendations are like you, Vlogbrothers, and John Oliver.
And
That's
Angie.
it. I don't watch Angie as much anymore. Like, I still love her videos, and like, it's just like I just don't go on YouTube that often, but I will like actively go to YouTube to watch your videos, not just because you're my friend, but like I want to watch your video. I'm like, ooh, what did she put out?
Aww,
yeah,
that's so sweet. Even after I transferred away from makeup?
More so, I feel like.
Oh.
Because it's stuff that I don't know about. Kind of the reason I've kind of drifted away from makeup, because I'm slowly kind of moving out of the makeup space because I feel oversaturated.
Yeah.
So, like, the fact that your channel is a little bit makeup and, like, a bunch of other stuff that's, like, really interesting, I feel like it's easier for me to watch.
Well, I appreciate that. I have also found myself moving away from makeup videos, not to the same extent, because I still love Angie in particular. I feel like, in a way, Angelica Nyquist, here on YouTube, I'll link her down in the description, she kind of is my, like, beauty content person now, because she's entertaining, she's interesting, she actually has really different makeup aesthetics from me, and I like that for my YouTube content because I know how to do my makeup aesthetics. I know how I like my makeup. I don't need someone else for that anymore. And if I really want to know how something works, you know, I'll just buy it. For the most part, I have stopped purchasing as much makeup. I say anyway.
She looks at the Ulta bag on the windowsill.
Yeah. But anyway, it's just like when I got into makeup, I watched Kathleen Lights only. Like, she was the only beauty YouTuber I would watch. And then I've expanded past that, and now I feel like I'm shrinking down to Angie because I like her content. I'm interested to see how different things in this community and in this industry perform. But like you said, I feel like I'm just moving from it. And maybe it's because I feel like I have the strongest parasocial relationship with Angie. If I'm not interested in one of Angie's videos, sometimes I'll still watch it because I'm like, but I like her.
Yeah.
It's like I want to spend time with her, which is not actually what's going on. I'm just watching her art, but I like her art.
But I feel like parasocial relationship, it is one-sided, but you are spending time with that person. Like, you are, like, getting to know them. And I think kind of something we forget sometimes.
Maybe it's just because I am an artsy person and I'm an artist, and philosophizing about art is something I enjoy doing. I do feel, in a way, art can be more honest than reality, because I'm pouring my heart into this in a way that I may unconsciously really send a message or give something that I don't realize I'm giving, but that is real and authentic. Because it does take so much work to make a video, and I am saying YouTube videos are a piece of art, because they are work, they are creative, and there is a lot of planning and time and effort, and it's just a new medium. And I think that, and that unintentional honesty, is what you were saying you appreciate in smaller YouTubers.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you can get to a place when you've been doing this so long and so many people are watching you that you become very guarded in what you're putting out there. And once big YouTubers are no longer really editing their videos and they're doing all sponsorships, and it can take away the authenticity of the art, or it might not. It doesn't have to. But I think that can be a reason why when a YouTuber does something that's so against who we think they are, we feel so hurt, because we feel like we're spending time with them, like you said, but we're observing more than just like a friendship connection. We're having this artistic connection. And when it's not that, and it's shown to be very surface level and not who they are, that can be very jarring and disappointing. So I'm really glad that you say I'm still like who I am on camera, because
I'm definitely not disappointed. You're very cool.
Thank you. Angelica Nyquist tweeted or just put out a video and I just got a notification for it. She commented on one of my videos once and I lost my mind.
Was that the influenced one?
No, it was, I did a tag she created and she commented on it. And after that, I realized I was so embarrassed for her to have seen that video because I said something shady about Jaclyn Hill. And I was like, I want her to like me.
That's human though.
It is, but that was kind of a big turning point for me and my channel where I really started moving away from like drama on YouTube.
Oh, I remember that. We had that conversation.
Yeah, because I just felt like this isn't who I want to be. Like,
Right.
It's interesting, it's fun to watch. I'm not like saying don't watch T channels or there's anything against them. It's just like not who, like I said, I am or want to be.
That's not the energy you want to put out. Like, it's okay if other people do, but that's not
Yeah.
your energy.
And I'm glad I did it for a while. I'm glad I explored drama because by looking at other people's mistakes on this platform and thinking about them, I feel like I've learned kind of what I don't want to do, what I do want to do, because I feel like when you're honest and authentic on the internet for a long period of time, like I hope to be, like I hope this is my career, eventually you're going to say something that makes people mad. You're going to make some kind of mistake. And I think that's very human, but I want to try to avoid that. I want to try to learn from other people's mistakes. And when it inevitably does happen, I want to handle it well and authentically at the same time.
Right. Yeah, I feel like that's one of those things that's like hard to handle regardless. Hello? Oh. Toss it down the hill?
Sorry if we adjusted a little bit or it suddenly shifted. Her dog killed a gopher. We had to go handle that.
Yeah.
But anyway, in conclusion, I think YouTube is just as much of a social media platform as anything else, and it can very much be used to drive community and create a sense of community just as much as any other social media platform. But how well you get to know people is kind of a choose your own adventure thing. But it can, I think, bring people together, but you do kind of got to be careful, and especially with bigger creators, I don't know how well real friendships can form. Like there comes a point where it's like a community, and then there comes a point where it's like a fandom.
Yeah. Yeah.
And exactly. I don't know exactly where that line is.
I think it's different for everybody too. I think it depends on who the creator is and what their community is like.
Yeah. I am glad whatever this channel turns into, whatever happens, I'm proud of my work, and I'm very happy that I met you because you're the best possible thing that could have happened to me because of this channel.
Aww.
And
I hope you don't change your mind when you hit 10K. I'm kidding.
We'll see what happens when a video hits 1 million views, and we'll see if I still like her.
Yeah.
We were on such a good roll about like making points and having a good, thoughtful conversation.
And then the gopher died. No, correction. Then my dog killed the gopher.
Yeah. By the way, if you've been wondering about this lovely black eye, basically, I was petting her dog. He is how big?
He's 120-ish pounds. He's a German Shepherd. We'll put a picture up.
Yes, yeah, he's a sweetie. He's adorable. I love him very much. But I was petting him, and then I went to kind of like hug him and rub his stomach, not knowing he had a sore on his stomach, and he did not like that too much. He didn't like snap at me trying to hurt me. It was just kind of like a growl and go away.
Like, get off.
But he socked me in the eye with his muzzle.
So big.
Yeah.
It was kind of inevitable.
It hurt, but overall, I think it's a pretty funny story, and I'm fine. And like, y'all took such good care of me. I was like, oh, I'm not worth all this trouble. I said, no,
yes,
it's such an inconvenience.
No,
in my pain.
No, our dog hit you.
And I was like, I'm such an inconvenience in my pain.
No.
And then I went and apologized to the puppy for scaring him.
They're best friends now.
He's so sweet, and he loves my like scratches behind his ear.
Yes. If you start petting him, he will not let you stop.
I don't want to stop. It's wonderful. But do you have any final thoughts on what we've talked about, on our friendship, about anything you just want to share with the world?
What do I want to share with the world? One, I'm sorry for my raspy voice. I have really bad allergies.
Your voice literally sounds fine.
Yeah, but it sounds raspy to me. Oh, I should have put on my gnome earrings. Oh well.
Okay, now go put them on so I can edit you.
Fine. One of the things that just occurred to me is like the fact that I kept watching you despite the fact, like, you're very much a neutral lover and my style is very, very colorful. So like the fact that I kept watching you despite the fact that your style was so starkly different to mine. You're not recording, but I'll say this again later.
No, I'm still recording.
Oh, cool.
So I was just gonna be like, boom, magic, earrings on. But what she was saying was important, so it's okay. Just boom, magic, earrings on.
But like the fact that I kept watching your channel despite the fact that like my makeup style is very, very different from yours kind of speaks to how versatile your entertainment value is. Even before you stopped doing makeup, you were just like really entertaining. Because at the time, most of the YouTubers I watched were like Angie, who is very colorful, Hannah Louise Poston, not really colorful, but like...
She has a very different vibe for a makeup channel, and she very much is kind of like her own genre.
The collection style is the same as mine, where it's like singles and like...
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas like I love palettes, singles aren't my thing, I really love neutrals. We're like... Very opposite.
I only operate, like, my entire collection is just singles, and the palettes I have, I've depotted. But yeah, so, like, the fact that your style and my style are so different, and we still, one, vibe super hard as friends. Wow, I sound like I'm from California.
I wonder why.
Could it be?
I mean,
I live here?
I mean, I've been saying vibing, like, all week.
You're welcome. But yeah, that is kind of the final point, I guess, that I would like to present.
Well, on that note, thank you so much, Arushi, for being on my channel. And
thank you for flying out to California. It's been a hell of a week.
Yes, it has. It's been so wonderful. Her grandma is the best cook in the world. All other food is ruined for me. Thank you so much for being a part of my community and like becoming my best friend.
Thank you for engaging back, for, you know, I guess making the first move, for lack of a better way to put it.
Well, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for being in my community, whether you just watch, whether you comment on my videos, or if we chat in Instagram DM. Thank you so much, and I will see you all next time. Do you want to blow kiss with me?
Sure. I've never done this before. Hold on.
You just gotta blow kisses.
I know. Okay, I'm ready. I'm not ready. Okay. What? Oh, you blow the kiss. I forgot.
That's it. We're ending it there.